let's have a quick look at the data format generated by the COBI Modern software. Now, the COBI Modern software always outputs to this folder on your computer. It's in your documents, COBI Studio Modern data. Now let's go to the folder that was generated when I did an experiment a few days ago. It always contains these 4 files. This is an additional file that I created, and I'll explain that in a second. What's most important is that all these files are actually CSV or text files. They can be easily opened. Let's look at the marker file. If we just grab Notepad, drag it over, we can see our markers. So we can actually modify the values and potentially the time when the marker got in case we made some mistake. We also have the fNIRS file, which contains the row intensities for the different wavelengths, and we have the oxy file. So I'll quickly just go to Excel here. Okay, and I'll make a new one like that, a new file, and let's just drag over the oxy file. Same thing can be done with the fNIRS file. And this is what it looks like. That's the data for deoxygenation and oxygenation for every one of the channels. And there are 18 channels in the system. But how do we make sense of this? Well, this is why I created this file, which is basically the same file as this, but with some labels applied. We can switch back and forth and we can see that these are the same numbers. In fact, let me put them side by side. Okay. So now you can see that the values here and here are identical. So for every channel or every optode, starting with number 1, you always first have the deoxygenation value that's different from baseline, and then you have the oxygenation value. And this keeps going all the way to the end, where you have the short optodes, 17 and 18 at the end, and you have time in milliseconds. This was recorded with 10 Hertz sampling rate. So knowing this, you can use the data in your workflow if that involves something other than the fNIRS software for analysis. Similar to this, you also have access to the raw light intensity data, as I mentioned, and that's in the .NIR file. But the oxy file makes things a little bit easier for you because the data are already processed to give you oxygenated and deoxygenated hemoglobin